Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV for this match reaction to the Villa game. Villa 2, Chelsea 2. Were we robbed? Were Chelsea robbed at the end of the game? Well, we're going to be discussing that. Lots to go through as well. Lots to talk in regards to the first half as well, performance, which wasn't up to speed. We're going to be talking about that. But the second half was better. And there was a lot of little intricate things done by the manager himself to make us be more effective in that game in the second half. So there's loads for us to get into, lots for us to talk about, lots for us to discuss. Smash the like button, guys. Sorry, I need some water there. Smash the like button. Please get these likes up. Share it out on your Twitters, your Facebooks, your Instagrams. Let's try and invite some more Chelsea fans in here. We've got the panel to join as well. Lots to get into. We're going to try and get this done in a bit of a shorter show today. So probably about an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes, guys. So run up the likes and let's cue the intro. Welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV for the match reaction to the Villa game. Villa 2, Chelsea 2 on the night. Lots to discuss in, lots to get into. I'm going to look at things a little bit. We're going to go through everything today. I've got clips of the goals that we're going to be going through, clips of the chances in yesterday's game as well. And we're going to talk about the overall game. We're going to do a quick player rating. We're going to get the panel in. We're going to do all of them things as well, guys. So you're going to have everyone in here at some point in the next half hour as well. Do me a favor, keep making sure you smash the likes. We will be talking about player performances as well. One of them being obviously this Mudryk thing. Puts it better than Mudryk. Can't disagree with that. It's what Niak's saying. Quickly say hello to some people before we start the show. We've got a bit of transfer news as well to go through as well. RD, how are you? I'm so disconnected with Chelsea the entire season. I can't take it anymore. I want it to end. Enrique was the perfect manager for Chelsea is what he's saying here. Jamie saying, fans, are we doing today? Can't believe it. It 2-2 at the Villa Park, but we did it. It was nearly a great comeback. It was nearly a great comeback from us as well, which is a pain, but it is what it is. Lucky, how are you, Fats? Where's my? Oh, I don't know, bro. Message her. Am I crazy to think that Madueke was meaty? I like the guy. Sometimes he's too erratic going forward, but our fan base, shall I say, raccoons won't stay over the itis. So I think he had. I think he was a big part of the reason why the second half went well yesterday, Fats. I'm not going to lie. I thought he drove with the ball well. I thought he created a lot of space. I thought he was still wasteful, and we're going to look at that as well. He was still wasteful in parts of the game as well. He scored the goal, which was a very good finish. You can't knock him for the finish as well. He was just better. His attitude was better in the second half than it was the first for me. What happened to the game? I don't know, bro. I don't know. Fern, Nyack, everyone, let's go. I can't lie, the fans race that overhyped Madueke is the same people that are hating on Mudryk. I don't get this. I think it's hate. I think it's more about what we see and how effective we are in the game. And at the moment, if there's one thing for sure, it seems like we attack down the right a lot more than the left. And that's something that I think is a system strategy, a plan. That's the way Pochettino likes to play. And I also think it's because we're maybe just not as strong attacking down the left. We don't build up patterns down the left. We don't really attack down the left too much, to be quite honest with you. And that obviously does go against Mudryk, which is why we find himself hovering into the middle to try and see the ball, I think, in a lot of ways. But we'll be talking about that as well. Madueke needs a lot of coaching, which he clearly is not getting from Poch. I give him one more year, but he has something there. Just needs, yeah. I think he showed more than Mudryk this season. That's for sure. Don said Madueke is the best 1-versus-1 demon in the league. I don't know about that one. He's very good at taking on, but I wouldn't say he's the best demon. Right, let's quickly get into some transfer news. Let's get into some transfer news. Chelsea are keen on Benjamin Sesko via Fabrizio Romano. Now, this is a big fat L for me. Big fat no. Now, a lot of people were saying, yeah, he's very talented. This, that, and the other. He scores goals. He's this, that, and the other. Like, I've watched this guy briefly. I'm not going to say that I've claimed to watch a lot of him. But the one thing I would say about Sesko is that he's just too raw. And I think when you look at what we're trying to do next year and what, and how we're trying to progress as a club and finding that conclusion of actually finding a goal scorer, someone that puts a goal, the ball in the back of the net, it makes no sense why we would sign Sesko. It don't. He's played 28 games this season with 11 goals and 2 assists all seasons in the Bundesliga. Nicholas Jackson has more goals than him. That's just stats saying that. Now, I've watched him in the Champions League on the biggest stage against some of the biggest teams, and he just goes missing, man. And not only go missing, he also misses a lot of chances. He's very raw. He's not clinical. I think there could be a good player in him right now. But again, this goes back to the whole thing of Chelsea signing players, if they do go down this route, signing players that are very raw, i.e. a Mudryk, for example, and trying to bring them in, then actually going for someone that's a bit more complete in it, because of their age, experience, and what they've done, and the, all of the things that we need. I think we need right now is an experienced, clinical, someone that fits the profile of our system type of striker. He doesn't for me. I think his frame, he's big, he's tall, he holds ball. He's not the quickest. Yeah, he can score a goal, but he's just not. It's just no. It's just a no. Like, I can't explain how much of an L this is. It doesn't fit. In my opinion, he doesn't fit what we're doing here. And then what we're going to do, buy him, make him our main number 9. We're going to have the same problems next season when we're creating chances and he's not finishing them. And then we're going to say, well, we just need to give him time. He's only young. That's why we brought him into this young. But we're not progressing. And this is the issue. These owners in the summer window, and we saw it yesterday again, and I put the title as not clinical again in this game yesterday. Where, we need someone up there at the other end that is a killer. Is a killer. We have Nkunku, who I still think is a killer, but can't stay fit to save his life. We need someone up there that's clinical, that's a killer, that will take the chances like we saw yesterday and not do a Jackson and hit the post from fucking 3 yards out against Aston Villa again. Like, I like Jackson's game, but we all know that he's not good in front of goal. So why then sign someone who is probably a little bit better than him in front of goal, yeah, but still very raw himself? It makes no sense. This makes no sense to me. I'm sorry. This makes no sense. This player, this type of profile, this type of player does not work straight away for us. He's going to need time. He's going to need development. He's going to need, all the things that he's doing at the moment at Salzburg. You don't go and take him from, sorry, not Salzburg, from Leipzig. You don't go and take it. Is he Salzburg or Leipzig? He's Leipzig, isn't he? I'm going brain dead here. You don't go and sign this player. It makes no sense. It makes no sense to me. And the fact that Fabrizio Romano saying Chelsea are keen on him just blows my mind. And yeah, you might be able to get him cheap, but he doesn't solve your fucking striking problem. Yeah, he's a striker, but he doesn't solve it. So why are we still looking at these young, undeveloped strikers when we say that we need someone clinical? We need someone fucking clinical. Why are we looking at fucking young players still that are raw? And then when we go into next season and he misses chances, we're going to be blaming him. Oh, you spent 50 million on Sesko and he's crap. But no, he just needs time to develop, like we've seen this season with a lot of the players that we have at the moment. We bought too many raw fucking talents. We ain't got enough experience in there. We ain't got enough know-how in there. He may be a cold finisher, but he scored 11 goals and 2 assists in the Bundesliga. It's not exactly amazing. And I watched him in the Champions League in them games. He was average. In fact, he didn't know how to impact a game. You could tell that he was still trying to understand and learn himself in his own development in the way he plays the role. Yeah, he's got some good attributes. I agree. There is some good attributes to him. But he's definitely, it don't make no sense. This makes no sense to me. I'm sorry. I'd play Mudryk as a 9. He seems... His shot to goal rate is one of the best. Yeah, but it's not. He's not the right profile, guys. This is what people are missing. I don't think he suits what we're doing here. I don't think his overall abilities in his profile fits Chelsea. Like we did with fucking Lukaku when we signed him. And I told everyone, 90% of the fan base wanted Lukaku. I told him it ain't going to work. It won't work. This is the same problem. This is the same problem. I'm telling you, it's not going to work straight away. We need someone to come in and go. Bang, bang, bang. We need finisher. We don't need someone that's going to score a couple and then, oh, he's missed this one. Oh, he's missed that one. Oh, yeah. And he scored again. Oh, yeah, he missed that one. He's missed that one. Like what we're having in the same problem at the moment. Like, and then he disappears out of the game. Like, it makes no sense. Trust me. It's like to me that we won't be able to afford Osimhen. It depends who and where we sell Mitch. This is the thing. Osimhen is the best choice because has a consistent track record of finishing. I agree. He won't do everything else for the build-up like Jackson. Well, this is the thing. I don't think Osimhen's overall game is very good. I don't think he's worth 130, 40 million euros. No. I think what he will do is he will score goals. Ultimately, he has still, when I say Osimhen's clinical, he's a finisher. He will score you goals. He has his fair share of misses too. Like, don't get me wrong. But he's, again, does his profile suit what we're trying to do? Well, maybe if you accommodate Jackson into the team, yeah. Because Jackson can do that deeper role, link up play. I just don't like the price tag. The price tag stinks to me. And that's why I say no to him as well. I don't think he's worth 130 odd million. That's the biggest question. Who suits what we're trying to do? You know, I've always been quite a semi-fan of Ivan Toney, just by the profile of player, in terms of how he holds up, brings in whatever. Can he score on a clinical basis when he's created more? That's a question mark. He still has, I think, 15 goals this season, more than Sesko in the Premier League. You know, and then you've got Watkins has come out the blue as well. And, like, don't get me wrong, I like Watkins. I think his all-round game's very good again. I think he holds the ball up well. He holds the ball up well. He links up play well. He does all of the things that you need to do well. But again, can he go up the next level? That's another question. You know, I don't, you know, there is options in terms of strikers. You know, do you know the one that interests me the most? I'll tell you the truth. The one that interests me the most is Gyökeres. That guy. Gyökeres. Him. Now, I haven't watched enough of this guy, but I've watched a lot of like statistical breakdowns and his strengths and weaknesses. I do it with all these strikers because I don't watch them per 90. I can't sit here and say that I watch them all per 90 because I don't. So what I try and do is I try and break them down through people that actually sit and watch and break down their strengths, their weaknesses, show you different parts of their games, strengths, this, that, and the other. When I watched Gyökeres compared to the other ones, yeah, Victor Gyökeres, I'm not going to lie. When I watched his like his breakdown, his stats, his like ability breakdown against Osimhen, against all the others, his profile is probably one of the only strikers where I look at and I think he could work at Chelsea. Now, he's not like the complete striker. I don't think he's amazing, but when you look at how the types of goals he scores, the array of type of goals he scores, I like that because it means he's not very basic when it comes to the types of scoring. He's a killer in the box. He knows how to find it. He's quite quick. I say quite quick. He's very quick. He's not even slow. You know, he's got the speed in behind. His link-up play is actually not too bad as well. So there's a couple of things where I'm like, yeah, he's good, but again, he's not proven. So I don't know how he'd play in the Premier League. Would he struggle? I don't know. He don't look like it because he's quite physical again. So that's one where I'm not sure. And I look at it and I'm like, could he be a good shout for someone like us? No, he's not. He's not as proven. That's the only thing I agree on as well. But when I look at his overall ability and how it's broken down and what he brings to the team, then I'm thinking to myself, well, he could kind of suit what we're trying to do here. You know, he's a late bloomer for sure. Maybe he needs to do it for another year or two before we could actually start saying, do we want to go and get him, you know? But anyway, going back to that, we're going to do obviously transfer shows to talk in that and whatever, guys. We will get into that later on in the summer, which will come up. I'm sure the striker discussions are going to come. I think we will sign a striker. And I think we're going to have a lots to talk about over here. So make sure you guys are subscribed to this channels, both of them, GNA TV, Chelsea Fan TV. Make sure that you're smashing the like buttons as well, guys. Just run the likes up. Get the likes up, guys, if you can. Share it out as well. And we'll come back to this transfer talk as well, because ideally we need to get onto the game yesterday. That's where we need to go to. But before we do that, what a crap stat this is, by the way. It makes me feel sick. This makes me feel sick. What the fuck is that? Now, this does link to the game. This does link to the game as well. 59 goals in conceding 33 games is disgusting. We conceded 61 goals in 114 games under Mourinho. What the fuck? This is worrying. And this leads into the game yesterday. Now, when you look at us, how we were set up formation-wise, I don't think we had much options. We were bare minimum in the injuries again. There were players, even more players out in the game against Arsenal. And pretty much, I think the lineup picked itself, because when you look at the bench, it was all young players from the reserves team all on the bench. So it was kind of an obvious setup. However, I think it was a better setup. You know, and one of the players that was playing again in the team who I keep saying is the glue to the team. The glue to the team is Thiago Silva. Now, he unfortunately hobbled off a bit late with a bit of an injury. Pochettino said we need to assess Silva. It is a pain in his groin. I think it's similar to his injury at Crystal Palace. Thiago will confirm soon that when he's leaving Chelsea at the end of the current season. That could have been his last game, guys. I'm not going to lie. If it's a groin injury and it's putting him out for a couple of weeks / a month, this could have been his last game that we see of Thiago Silva. And boy, I just say, this guy, when he's in the team and starts, he is the glue. And I know Badiashile, listen, we're going to talk about Badiashile today as well, right? You know, Badiashile looked like the Badiashile I saw last season next to him. And this scares me. This really does scare me. Afternoon, John. Good to see you. I hope you're well. Chelsea Dan, welcome as well. Good to see you. This scares me because we're still so heavily reliant on his experience, his abilities, and everything else that he brings to this team. You know, we're still heavily reliant on him. And yes, Bobby, good to see you, man. Good news that the players are playing for Poch. And he just, I don't know what it is. You take him out of the team, it's not good. Chalobah played right back, which is what we should have done against Arsenal, and we didn't do. And again, I thought he done okay. But in the first half, there was numerous problems, guys. Numerous problems from the system again. And when you look at the way that we set up, and we did have chances later when we started to settle a bit, we took more control of the game, passing. In the second half, obviously, we'll talk about it in a bit. But, you know, the way we started the game is just so poor. And it goes from the defence element, not so much the defence element, but more the tracking back of the midfield and the overall team's work rate to get back when we're out of possession. And it was just poor. Now, let's quickly talk about this because this was a big change in the game. And obviously the second half, right, there was a lot that happened in the second half, which we're going to discuss and talk about. And one of the big chances at the end of the game was we were 2-0 behind. We get it back to 2-2. You know, we played well in the second half. I think there was a tactical deploy, which we're going to talk about very soon as well, which made us more aggressive, able to press higher up the pitch as well. But this being a foul was ridiculous because I know people were saying, well, you know, you can't shove someone in the back. But you can't. That means you can't have any sort of contact in the box anymore with any players. Because to me, it wasn't a full-on arm. If he'd have done that with his arms, I'd have understood it. The guy, Badiashile and the defender are leading into each other as the ball comes down. Badiashile uses his shoulder to push him away, to give him the space to win the battle, the duel for the ball. Yeah, and then controls it, and then we find it. That was a goal for me. That was ridiculous. If anything, this was a lot less lenient than the one at Newcastle, where Gabriel was getting pushed in the back. Because when they gave that one, the striker had his arms out in Gabriel's back. That was more of a foul than the one that was happened yesterday. That wasn't a foul. I'm sorry, and I don't care if people go, well, because it's Chelsea, whatever. It's not. Not to do that. That was so weak and it was given. The fact that it was given and then turned around after makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me. One thing we need to clarify is when a ref does and doesn't go to the monitor, Craig Paulson had a great view of the Badiashile foul and was asked to look again. He's there. Look, you can see it. If he hasn't given it from seeing it there, he's there. Look, he's literally sitting there. His head looking at this right here. If he hasn't given it there and thinks it's fair, right? This is what I think. And he's given it. But then the VAR ask him to check it. Yeah. 9 times out of 10, they usually go and check it and they stick to the decision. But this time it was turned around on our heads. And I'm not going to lie. If that was Man City or even Arsenal today against Spurs, they'll give that as a goal. And that's the difference for me right now. He got put under the pressure on this for no reason, yeah, because I think he got it right at the beginning, yeah. And he's only changed his mind based on the fact that VAR have obviously come up with some sort of bullshit, in my opinion, for him to overturn his decision. But if this happens in any other game, this was Man City, and this was the winning goal for the league, this would have been given. This would have been given. I don't care what anyone says. That would have been given. The officials are on one crew, so in cases where VAR simply feels it's a waste of time, They won't recommend a monitor review, but so many of these incidents are up for debate. The problem is recommending a ref goes to the screen usually only ends one way, and it does add time, but it at least keeps the final say firmly with the ref. Yeah, but the ref, I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. And do you know what? This ain't the be-all and end-all of why we didn't win the game yesterday. Because, again, the big reason why we didn't win yesterday's game was down to the lack of clinical finishing and decision-making. Again, and it wasn't even just the first half. The first half, you know, we can talk about Jackson missing that header. And there was a couple of others, right? Yeah, where it was just like, how are we not putting that in the back of the net, right? Same old shit. Same shit that we see all fucking season. Get us a striker, get us some killers up there because we need to finish these chances. We start, we move forward, we create for ourselves. We just don't put things away. And then, you know, I'll give you some example like this one here, right? And we're going to talk about Caicedo as well, right? This one right here, for example. So we get the ball here, right? Caicedo puts in, by the way, look at this tackle. Look at this tackle. Look, Bosch. That is a great tackle, by the way. Like that is an unbelievable tackle by Caicedo. And by the way, he had an amazing game yesterday. He was awesome. And people were saying, and we're going to get to this whole thing. Oh, is it because Endo is not in the team? No, we're going to talk about that. Don't worry about that. We're going to talk about that. Why? Bosch, yeah, great tackle. Wins the ball, right? Gets up. Now, look, Madueke's now opening his body up to make the run here, right? All right, and I thought Madueke had a good game yesterday. Caicedo, with the right pass through the middle, dinks it through. All right. Now we find ourselves in the position where, oh shit. Now we find ourselves in a position where all he has to do is take one touch of his left, all right, there, right, and then his next initial pass should be of his right foot, yeah, and he does that. We go back a bit. He does that. Why? Like, and I don't get it because look, if you look at Palmer's position, look at Palmer's position there. Look at Mudryk driving in. You got Jackson in the back post. Use your right foot, brother. All you had to do was pass it into Palmer. Palmer would have been the best easy chance. Palmer would have slotted that in with his left foot and then would have been back in the game. That was one of the chances where I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What is that? That's like Sunday League. That is so weak and pathetic. This really annoyed me, and this is why I'm highlighting it. This type of things really annoy me with it. And I know they're young and they're developing. Left foot's are strong, but we've seen him with his right foot. He's shot with his right foot. He scored with his right foot against Luton. Against Luton, he scored with his right foot. He's got a right foot. He's used it before. Why are you not just passing it across? Like, what? Like, these are the things that drive me mad. Absolutely drive me mad. Hey, big ups, DJ Savjay. How are you, bro? Guys, make sure you're tapping the likes, please. Share it out as well. One of many chances. I ain't even going to show you the Jackson header because I think you can all remember. The ball comes in the box from Cucurella. He lands to him with no one marking him. Martinez is on this side of the goal, which means the whole side of this goal's open. My man finds the post somehow. Yeah. And I'm just like, unbelievable. Yeah, and that was one chance. And then to top it off, that was one good chance later in the game. And listen, Madueke's goal was very good. Good finish, good pressing. You know, all of that stuff I liked. It was good. It was typical of the way Chelsea were. It's typical of the way Chelsea have scored goals this season. The high press, win the ball quickly. Gallagher and Palmer with a good press, win the ball, 1-2, lay it off to Madueke, bang, goal. They're the types of goals we've seen in the season. But then we had this chance. And this chance was something else. This was, I would have betted my house in this one. So I don't know what Carlos is doing here. It's a shocking clearance, right? He lands to Palmer here. Decent touch first. Flicks it there on Pau Torres. Great turn there, right? Gets to this was just weak defending. Look, because he goes to Carlos's idea is that he thinks he's going to play in. I mean, he would have been offside, by the way, Cassidy. So I'm glad he didn't make that pass. Look at Casaday's position there. And the only one that you could have got the ball to, is that Gallagher? There? Is there. But he goes right again and he skips. And at this point, he's in. He's got the whole goal to himself. Now he's in a position to just lay it off there. Just lay it off there. And I know he's not going to do that because 20-odd goals this season, unbelievable. Don't get me wrong, in all comps and whatever. Like, Palmer is the guy at Chelsea. We know that. But this, for me, was the biggest difference in us winning the game. Not winning the game yesterday. Not only just the Jackson and Madueke, but this was the biggest chance of them all. And unusual for him. He's took the touch and he's hit it early. He's hit it early because he's about to get shut down by Lucas Digne. He hits it early, but the shot is just... He's tried to angle it in that corner. I think he's picked the wrong corner, personally, in my opinion. The goalie's able to stretch out, get a lucky deflection, and it goes out. And it's like, there, put it there. He's hit it straight. Put it this way. I would have gone in that corner. The goalie would never have saved it if he'd gone for that corner, for me. He's gone for that, and, yeah, the rest is history. The rest is history. And at the end of the day, that was another... Get the fucking fluidity. Get the... and that was another chance where we could have killed the game before the whole Badiashile decision, and we just didn't take it. And it landed to the person that you wanted it to land to in the team. And the only difference with Palmer in them positions is that I actually think Nkunku scores that. If you get Nkunku in this position here, he scores for me. There's just no way in hell he misses that. With Palmer, I would say 8 times out of 10, he puts that in the back of the net. But that's 2%, which happened yesterday. That happens. And we've seen it a couple of times this season. We've seen it a couple of times. And that's what's ultimately cost us yesterday. The not being clinical, not taking your chances, not finishing your dinner is what a big reason as to why we didn't find ourselves in winning the game, What's going on in the chat? Not saying Kukurea has been good either. Big up Jay Anderson. Are you arguing with RD? Go on, Jabby. Guys, do me a favor. Keep tapping the likes, please. Let's get the likes up. If you can do that, that would be amazing. What have I done here? Now I want to quickly go on to Caicedo because I thought he was amazing yesterday. I thought he had a very good game, one of his strongest games. When you look at him from a statistical point, very good. 102 touches, 100% accuracy, 91% pass accuracy, 15 passes in the total into the final, 12 out of 14 duels, 11 times possession won, 5 tackles made, 4 fouls won, 2 clearances, 2 shots. Right? I thought he was very good yesterday. Big part of the reason why he was very good yesterday was a tactical deploy in the second half. I thought he had an actual okay. I thought he had an actual okay first half, even though we were 2-0 down. But the second half was better. And why it was better is because, and I keep saying it, I think Caicedo's best attribute and ability as a player is being able to win the ball high when we've lost the ball high. Does that make sense? So when we're on the transition, trying to break, and then we lose the ball, and then they try and get it into midfield to turn, defense into attack. Bang, Caicedo. Bang, Caicedo. And that is the box-to-box 8 player that we know Caicedo wants to be and likes to be. And why we saw more of that type of performance. And a lot of people go, well, with Gallagher was next to him. Yeah, well, Gallagher was next to him in the first half, by the way, and he was a shambles. Let's not forget that. Like, we were 2-0 behind in the first half with Gallagher next to him. Yeah. And I'm going to show you some of the goals again and the midfield in the first half and where it went wrong as well. And there's a big reason why I'm going to do this, because there's this very limited, narrow-minded way of thinking on this app where we watch games, yeah, and if one player ain't playing, like Enzo Fernandez, for example, we assume that and we win or we play better or we see games where we look like we're doing okay, yeah. We just blame it on that player and say, well, that's why. Yeah, it's him. And it's just stupid and it's weird. Like, I find it very weird. Not only was the guy carrying a hernia and running around at 30%, do you know what I mean? Half of his fat. I just find it very weird. But going back to Caicedo, it was a very good performance. It was just a very good performance, and he deserves the man of the match. He was good, and it was an overall great performance from him. And people don't want to talk about it, but when you look at his overall play ratings for us through the season, yeah, he's had some stinkers. Don't get me wrong, but he's always averaging about 7%, 7 in each and every game, and a lot of it's down to him quietly doing his job, but maybe not to the level that we want to see it. Now, I keep saying Caicedo's not a DM. He's not a 6 for me. Yeah, I just don't see him as a 6. I think where he needs to be is more of an open box to box where he can play into a 6 role, but also not have to worry about too much what's going on in them defensive holes behind him, so that he can go and press and do his thing. And that will be the best of Caicedo. And that's the player we bought. That's the player we bought. Why do you think we bought Lavia, by the way, and have Leslie and all these people as well? Because I don't think the actual idea was to play him in the DM role. I think he was meant to have played in next to someone, but been licensed to press and do what I would call the Kante role, which is win the balls high and whatever. And that's what we saw yesterday. But we've been asking him too many times this season to play in this role because of the lack of numbers we have in midfield, the lack of being able to rotate. He's played most of the games, 24 games, I think he's played. Is it? Did he play 24 or 25 games? I think he's played more than that, maybe. But he was very good. He was very good. And the big part of the reason for once made a tactical ploy. Am I still here? Sorry, guys, my Wi-Fi literally decided to do one of me. It literally decided to do one of me. Typical, isn't it? Absolutely typical. And now it's going everywhere. I don't know what it's doing right now. What are you doing, Wi-Fi? What are you doing? Give it a break. So, big part of the reason why we saw such a good reason to a better performance in the second half from a midfield basis and a balance basis is because Pochettino made a big decision in the game at half time. He asked Correa to play what I called a Zinchenko role. So he went from playing in the left-hand position to find himself closer into the middle and helping with basically filling the gap and winning the balls in the midfield and allowing us to, when we go forward, to have someone still sitting there and not get caught. And what Badiashile did is he tucked him behind Cucurella. He tucked him behind Cucurella. He tucked him behind Walmart Wi-Fi. Sorry, guys, it's gone all funny now. He tucked him behind the player, and ultimately it worked. I don't know why it's doing that. I don't know why it's gone into this. It annoys me. This Wi-Fi. It's never used to do this. But everyone keeps talking about why was Caicedo better? Why did we look better? Oh, it's because Caicedo and Gallagher were playing in the pivot. No, it wasn't. It's because in the second half he made a tactical decision to play Cucurella more centrally, which alleviated Caicedo to then press more higher and allow Gallagher to float around, which he was doing in the first half. The reason why he made that decision, guys, was because if you look at the first half, we were still very open in the midfield with Gallagher and Caicedo playing together. But people don't want to talk about it. And this is what really annoys me. It was a tactical ploy, that allowed our midfield to look better in the second half because we had someone basically that was just sitting, sometimes venturing forward like he was into weird positions, Cucurella, which I didn't like, but ultimately was still finding himself in that central point. So when we did lose the ball and it did come out, we could win the ball higher because Caicedo could press when they tried to move out of play. And then even if they did beat him, Cucurella was filling the holes. Badiashile tapped behind him, and that's a big reason why it worked. People don't realise you've got that old school Internet Explorer set up here now. Oh, bro, don't. It's just driving me mad. It was all right for the first 35 minutes, and now it's just gone stupid, Can you hear me? Can everyone hear me, though? Like, when I talk, forget about me moving right now, but can you hear me? I don't know why it's doing this again. It really annoys me. I'm assuming you guys can hear me still anyway. So yeah, and this comment here about the outstanding last night, the narrative has been a flop. That he has been a flop is ludicrous. Much better in a pivot with Gallagher than Enzo, however. And then he goes on to say, basically, that's what he thinks. And I was just like, okay, so this is what people want to use as a narrative, right? This is the narrative. This is the narrative that people want to use. Yeah, I can't do nothing about it, people. I don't know what it is, but StreamYard does this to me at some points through it. But listen, let's talk about it. Let's talk about these chances, yeah? So let's look at these chances in the first half, because I want to explain to people the difference between the first and the second. The first, initially, we were being open up in the first 20 minutes quite comfortably. And when you look at their first goal, right? Look at Caicedo. Caicedo's position here is to press Tielemans, right? Now, Conor Gallagher is playing as the deeper pivot player at this moment in time. You can see his position here. You can see what's going on here. Badiashile. There's a nice little line with the defence. Right, so structurally, we don't look too bad. Caicedo leaves Tielemans and drops back into like that sort of hole. Now, the ball goes out wide. Look, we know Madueke's position. Madueke's position, by the way, was awful. Now it's down to Chalobah to then come out into this position and defend. But what gets me the most is this and this, okay? So if you look at number 27's original position here, look at number 27's original position here, and this is where the issue comes to not having a DM and playing anyone in this DM role, because it doesn't work, yeah? And even now, the Gallagher and Caicedo pivot is not going to work. I'm telling you now. It's not sustainable. It's not going to be consistent. You can have the same problems. And this is what I'm trying to show people. Look at Gallagher. He sees number 27. He's there, following number 27. Now, the ball doesn't even reach him, but Gallagher kind of gets lured by ball watching. Look, he gets lured by ball watching. He leaves number 27. Okay. Cucurella's got McGinn on his back, right? Number 27 now finds himself free, which means Chalobah has to go out. Thiago Silva's now sprinting back because he thinks that ball's coming here for Watkins, right? Everyone's trying to watch Watkins' run. Cucurella is looking over his shoulder, which I think most defenders do, but he's not looking to his left. And McGinn's then pulled away there. Now, in this position here, look, he could have cut it to there where Gallagher's meant to be, who he's just left his position. Caicedo's out of the game because he's pressed to try and win. He's completely gone. We've got too many Aston Villa players who have overloaded the box against our defence, who are trying to hold this line so that if it does go in behind, they can win it. But ultimately, when it gets cut back to here, you're relying on your midfield to be here, He's too late. He's well too late, out of position. So the ball comes in here. Gallagher's now, God knows no man land himself. And then, McGinn finds himself open, which you could say is a very good run. And it deflects off Cucurella and goes in the back of the net. And it's like, that could have been, obviously, Madueke should have defended better, which means Chalobah could have held his position. Gallagher then would have found his position more centrally here, I had hoped, which means he would have cut the ball out to McGinn when McGinn went into that hole in the middle where it was free. And it was just a mess from top to bottom, defensively, but the midfield was not good. The picking ups in the positions was not good enough, guys. This is the problem. And this is what I'm saying, Javi. But people want to talk about Gallagher and Caicedo is much better. It works better. It's this, that. And this is what I have to show, because it's just a narrow-minded way of thinking and it's bullshit, because they forgot what they saw in the first half. The first half was shit. Yeah. And this was why. Partly because the midfield was everywhere. Yeah. The defence had a good line and the midfield was everywhere. And then you go to look at the second goal with Rodgers, right? Let's have a look at it. So, So the ball comes in here to, what is that, Watkins or Rogers, whoever it is, right? Badiashile and Cucurella go in to shut the player down, to try and win the ball for him here. As he goes into the tackle there, he wins it, but it deflects out. Now, Caicedo's position, let's go back a bit. Now, Caicedo's position is to stay with Diaby. I think that was Diaby who come on, right? So he's got his player, but he's so left out on his own. Look where Conor Gallagher's position is here. He's nowhere to be seen. He's so far up, right? Now, I'm not saying this goal is completely Gallagher's fault, but what I'm saying is watch the midfield. So the ball comes back and deflects. All right, so Caicedo now comes across because the ball goes near him and the player who's marking. He guesses. He goes to this way thinking he's going to cut in, goes to throw in a tackle. But watch this. This is what people miss, right? Got to be careful here. That's Gallagher. Now, he can see this guy making a run in, right? He can see this guy running. Mudryk is fell asleep. He's not even watching his man here. Yeah. Look, watch the run. Look, Mudryk's left him, i.e. he's maybe coming now to Bailey because he thinks the ball's coming to Bailey. Gallagher's still too far away to even get back into position to help Caicedo and Gallagher because he's miles out, which means this guy's got an open run across the midfield. Yeah. Look. So the ball comes back, which means Caicedo not only has to make a tackle on one player, he's now scrambling across to get to the next player who's made a run into a position where Gallagher is completely out of position. He's not even with him at this point. And this is all tactics as well. This is all Poch's bullshit, yeah? But look at the look at the gap with the midfield again. There's no protection here, guys. There's just no protection. So then we get the ball here. Chalobah's pulled out wide. And then it's too late. At this point, by the time he gets the ball and stands Chalobah up, Caicedo runs across again, just in case he, just to try and help Chalobah block it. This is my thing with Caicedo. He does so many, he has to do so many things in the game on his own. It's weird. And by the time they take their shot, look at Gallagher's position. Look, Gallagher now notices the danger here. Look, because Caicedo's had to commit. He's on his own. It's either stay there or come across and try and, stop this shot from helping him. But he's given it away there. And then they've taken their shot and they've scored. But by the time Conor Gallagher gets to there, it's too late. This is my point. The midfield is just, it's just not good, guys. And why it was better in the second half and why he did that with Cucurella was because of the openness we had in the midfield still. So relevant to it being, Enzo's not in the team, we're actually playing better. No, it's bollocks. Why we were better was because he made a tactical deploy to play Cucurella in a more of a central role, which freed Caicedo to be further forward along with Gallagher and played more of a pressing game, which they're suitable to. But playing off the ball in a defence role, Caicedo's asked well too much. Caicedo's always asked too much to do all the time. Look, win. Oh, look, run again. Look, try and win that one. Oh, run again. Look, try and win that one. It's not good enough. And whether it's Enzo, Gallagher, whoever that's in there, this is the same problem that we have all the time. It's down to structure massively. Of course it is. Of course it is. It is down to the way he sets us up because he allows Conor Gallagher or Enzo to go so fucking high up the pitch. But then people moan, oh, God, Enzo, Caicedo ain't working. This hasn't worked all season. This hasn't worked all season like this. This hasn't worked all season, Xavi. Do you know what I'm saying? This is what annoys me. Yeah, and it's not about Enzo, Caicedo, not being able to play with each other. It's about actually having a DM and then allowing Caicedo to support that DM because Caicedo's energy would get around there, but a Lavia or someone that's a DM would understand the role better, where to position himself, where to try and, they would know what they're doing. As a Caicedo, he'll be able to get back quicker and help in these moments, not be on his own like he is at the moment. It'd be better for us. We'd be more balanced. And when you've got to look at the structure and how Poch wants to play, we need a DM in it. It doesn't work like this. This is why we concede so much. It doesn't work. It's not going to work. So this whole thing of Gallagher, having Gallagher and Caicedo in the middle is better than Enzo is waffle. It's all structure. It's all the way that we're set up. It's all, it's the game plan. It's what he tells them to do off the ball and on the ball. It's all of them things. And that first half is a big example as to why we were so crap against Arsenal the other week for 90 minutes. Because that was the same structure, guys. And he's still naive to it. He wants to stick to this. He wants to stick to this structure, this high risk system that he keeps playing, which gives us no midfield. This is going to be the same fucking problem. And we're going to keep talking about it. And you're going to get bored of me talking about it still. And we had a good game yesterday because we came back. Yeah, we came back. Boo-hoo. We did. We should have won the game. Good response. Yes, from the boys. They did respond. And I was happy with that. Of course I am. But I'm not happy with this whole narrative that our midfield's better without one player because another player is with him in the team, in the same pivot, in the same structure, which is still suffering. And that falls on Poch and his ideas and on what to tell him. Because when we're on the ball, yeah, and we're trying to break, he asked one of our sixes to play as a black fucking striker or as a 10. And when we're out of possession or someone loses the ball, Gallagher's well too far out to even help Caicedo, which means he has to do 6 jobs at once. And it's ridiculous. It's just annoying. Enzo and Caicedo don't complement each other off the ball. Both played better next to Gallagher as there was more physical presence on the ball. They should be one of the best partnerships. But our build-up structure has been so poor. They haven't utilised their strength. Our build-up structure has been poor. See, this is why Johan is someone that I like because he does pinpoint things, but he's still missed. This whole thing of they don't complement each other isn't true. They both can play in the same team, but they both need to be able to play more of this 8 role, in my opinion, where they're able to do both, but have someone sitting behind, in my opinion. So rather than have Gallagher, you put a Lavia in there. And this is why I want to see it so much. I want to see Caicedo next to Lavia with Enzo on the left being up and down and free a bit more and only coming back and helping when a bit less than what we require him to. Because the more he's up the pitch, the more he can be effective, the more he can control the game, the more he can make them passes, the more he needs to be better in front of goal. And he has to be better in front of goal because he will get more chances. He doesn't have to worry as much when Caicedo and Lavia are maybe in that sort of structural defensive role, but he can still do it to a degree. And that's what it is. We're playing a role where we're asking so much from him and others to do of a DM basis, which doesn't work. And the structure doesn't work, you know, and this is the thing. People just want to ignore it. People just want to ignore it. And it's outdated. His tactics are outdated. I'm sorry. I want him gone. I do want him gone. I do want him gone. But we move away from the midfield and we go quickly to the Badiashile because he deserves a quick mention. He's been very good. Let's go, guys. Xavi, if you're coming in, let's go. Let's go because I haven't got long today, guys. If you're coming in, let's go. Just texting the team like if you're coming in, guys, because we haven't got long. Are we viewing a game or just bashing Gallagher? What are you talking about, Jacob? Where was you bashing Gallagher? In what did I say was anything talking about bashing Gallagher? Nothing was bashing Gallagher. It was talking about the structure again. It's talking about the first half, how he sets us up and why we go 2-0 behind. And the same issues we're having in midfield. Whether it's Enzo, whether it's Gallagher. Whoever plays next to Caicedo in that position. It's people's brains, mate. I swear. It's like, how could you watch 10 minutes of me talking and come to that conclusion? Oh, shit, man. Well, how can you honestly watch me for that long trying to give you like my insight of the way that I see things, which is what I do. I sit here and I try and give you an insight of the way I see it, of how things are, or things that we've missed that were happening in game. Brought up the videos, I brought up the clips. I'm showing you guys, where I think the issues are still structurally and why we went 2-0 behind and why it looked so bad until the difference to the second half where we played very well. And we had more of the ball and we was winning the ball higher. And Caicedo was more effective and Gallagher was more effective, which they were much more effective. The Madueke was better. You know, like why we were better. Palmer to a degree, who I still think didn't have a great game yesterday, but still got better in the second half. It was all because he done something tactically. Even like Anyway, Badiashile, very good performance. Says Fabregas says that he's one of the best ball-playing centre-backs. Now, yesterday, I saw it a bit. And my issue with him is just consistency. If he could stick to playing like he did yesterday, he'd be in the team. Because that was a very strong performance. Strong, uses his body well. Reading the game better was the big thing for me. He was reading the game better. His tackles were good. His passing out was very good. Each one was like long and straight and in. It was, it was better. It was a better performance for Badiashile. But again, does it come with the fact that he's next to someone that just brings the best out of everyone, who's not going to be around? Who's just not going to be around, Who's just not going to be around. Yeah, no, I wasn't scapegoating him. My point I was trying to get to, Jacob, was that on Twitter, a lot of people were using the fact that Enzo Caicedo don't work, and this is why Gallagher and Caicedo are better. Look, see. But I'm detailing it and showing that it's not better, that it is a structural issue, and that it's the same shit. But the difference why Gallagher and Caicedo were better yesterday was predominantly in the second half, mainly, was because of the tactical deploy that he made by playing Cucurella more centrally. That's what it was. Big up Ed Kid, That's why I broke it down. I showed everyone the goals. If you didn't see it, guys, go back and watch, because I actually brought all the goals up. I showed you the clips, showed you the positions, I showed you the difference, I showed you everything you needed to see to show you the difference from the first half to the second half and what looked better. Like, you can see it. Yeah, and look, Badiashile, we'll just have to see. We'll have to see what happens with Badiashile. I think he just now needs to be consistent. I want to see him kick on to the end of the season. I want him to show a bit more authority. I want him to show all of of what we saw yesterday, because I do think he still has a bit of a bozo gene in him, and I want him to shake that out. Says Fabregas thinks he's one of the best in Europe with ball playing as a centre back. So, keep showing it. And we're going to do a rating, guys, because that's where we're going to go next. We're going to do a quick player rating as well. We're going to do a quick player rating because this is the next part of our part. Hey, big up, Gary. How are you, brother? Good to see you. Hope you're well. Badiashile is not a centre-back, more a DM. If he plays well, he's well with his feet. Well, no, because there's a lot of ball-playing centre-backs that are very good with their feet, I think. So you don't have to be a DM to be good at playing with the ball. Let's sign Bremer from Juventus to replace Silva. Interesting. Badiashile is a bad defender. Well, from what we've seen this season, I would agree. I mean, when we're talking about yesterday's performance, I don't think we can. Petric has been a lifesaver this season. I think Petric has been very good. And look, I don't think you can criticise him for the goals yesterday. The first one was deflection. People will say, well, the second one should have got down more. That was just a very good goal. It went through the legs of Chalobah, bottom corner, hard and low. He couldn't get across quick enough. And I think it's just one of them ones you take on the chin. It wasn't like a slow shot where he reacted late. His vision was kind of blocked as well. So I could see when you look at it, his vision was kind of blocked. But, at the end of the day, other than that, there's not really much more to say for me in regards to Petrovic. I'll probably give him a 6, 5, 6. There's nothing more there. He made a couple good saves when we needed him to, but nothing too much. I thought we played better than Aston Villa most of the game, Thought we would play better. So for me, it was a 5 or 6. Cucurella, I still don't think he's good enough for us. I think tactically, the decision to play him in that position in the second half was more of a just fill the gaps, fill the spaces, fill the tactical issue that we was having at the time. I think the first half I think the first goal was partly his fault because he's looked to his right, McGinn's pulled out to the left, and bang, goal. We just got caught sleeping. But other than that, the second half, yeah, better, more aggressive on the ball, winning the balls, more, everything. But I wouldn't say he was amazing. I'd give him probably a 6 again. I think the tactical deploy of him in the second half helped the others in midfield, which actually made us more better and aggressive on the ball, winning the balls quicker, creating a lot more chances as well in that system. I don't know. But I mean, AJ's here as well. Big up to AJ the boy. Slightly robbed yesterday at the end. It feels like we should have maybe got the 3 points. We didn't. I don't know if have you been watching the show or have you just come on now? I don't.
I was caught like the last 7 minutes.
Did you watch the breakdown on the midfield that I
Yeah, I
was
saw
showing?
that. Yeah,
That
that's when
stuff.
I just ended
You've
on.
got all that as well. So, like, when it comes to obviously, tell us what you thought about the game, obviously, because I want to know what you felt about both halves and how we played overall, and then obviously give us a rating for Cucurella as well, mate.
I mean, the game overall, I think we actually played decent. I think we were moving the ball. I think we were controlled. We created chances. I just think we have this thing of we don't start playing until we're losing. And I just hate that, we don't start games the best. And then, when we start losing, we start playing. You see players start taking initiative, taking more risk, Pochettino, now all of a sudden he wants to make a change. It's like, bro, where
Yeah.
is this when we want to take the front foot? So, we started slow, but then after the goal, I think we basically controlled the whole half, and then we gave up another goal at the end of the half. So it was two goals that were given up at bad times, but after the halftime, we fully dominated the game, and it showed in the score. We came back and tied it up 2-2. We should have won. If Cole buried that chance, that would have been a great
That was
comeback.
the one. Yeah, that was the
would
one
be
for me.
big.
Yeah.
But overall, it ends as a tie. We have this thing where we can't get big games over the line, so I'm not surprised that we tied.
Hazy, he didn't push him with his arms. I don't know what you're watching, mate. He leant into him with his shoulder, brother. That's the problem. That's what we're talking about. There wasn't a full. It wasn't like the Gabriel chance where Gabriel got pushed in the back with two arms by
Yeah,
Joe Linton when he scored. They were both leaning each other before the ball come, and Badiashile used his strength through his shoulder like that. It was more of which I think is a fair tackle. Like you're both scrapping for a ball. I've just shifted you. That is literally what he did. He shifted him. He just
he's
shifted him because Carlos turned round and was like, "Okay, I just got shifted." He didn't go,
yeah,
foul." Do you know what I
and the
mean?
ref was right there. The ref didn't say anything.
The ref was watching it. He was
He was
there.
right there. He was
I'm
literally right
sorry, that
there.
was not a free kick for me. I don't
Not,
care what anyone
the,
says.
the only thing that I say about that is, we that type of play, we see that foul given a lot. We do see
It's
that
not
foul given a
consistent, though,
lot.
AJ. It's not
We,
consistent because I
yeah,
guarantee if that was the Brentford did that to Sterling, like for example, I guarantee if that was Man City in that position who are fighting for a title and that kind of incident happened, that's a goal. They wouldn't
I
even looked
agree.
at it.
I
And
agree.
that's my problem with it. They are inconsistent as hell. They give one like they did with the Gabriel one, which I think was maybe you could say I still don't know if it was a foul, but I could understand it because the hands are out and he's pushing him in the
Yeah,
back, so he's going like that. As with this one, they're leaning into each other and he's gone like that with his shoulder.
yeah.
And so what are you meant to do in football? How are you meant to win the ball if you can't shoot someone?
And
I
in
don't get
that case, Gabriel, who was that? Who was it? Carlos? He didn't even have possession of the ball. It wasn't his
no,
ball, It was a 50-50 ball, that was just up in the air. He didn't kick the ball in the air. It was just a 50-50 ball. So that's what made me say, if they don't call foul, I get it. But at the same time, everybody say, oh, it's shoulder to shoulder, but it wasn't shoulder to shoulder, though. It was shoulder into his back. And that's kind of the difference where
say that
I'm
he
like,
used
I've
more of his
seen
shoulder.
that given.
But you're allowed to do it to a player whilst he was never in control whilst he turned around. He didn't turn around. He had his back to. He was facing the ball coming this way.
Yeah,
Badiashile was behind him, facing his back. So Badiashile was just gave him a little of a shrug to try and
yeah,
win the ball. There's nothing wrong with a shrug. So let me ask you this, right? When a player goes and competes in the air from a goal kick, let's just think of it like this, right? When the ball gets kicked from a goalie for a goal kick and it comes to the striker in the air and who the defender's behind the striker, what usually happens? How does the defender win the ball? He strikes him a bit and then he wins the header. Do they
yeah.
blow every time? Do they blow the ball? Do they blow the whistle every time
No,
you strike someone and jump in the air and win the ball? Because that is exactly the same situation. Just that
I
it was in
agree.
the box. I'm sorry, it's no different. People were trying to make this look like it was if you can't, like for me, if you can't have no physical contact anymore in the game, then what is the game? Because it's getting pathetic to me.
It's
Like, I
something
would have
that
got
we
him.
see every
Went like
game.
that.
We see that
If
every game.
Badiashile went in his back like that and pushed him and then went header, I'd get it. But he didn't. He leant into him. Carlos was leaning into him, actually, and he had leant back and he went like that with his shoulder. Like, I don't know. I just find it a bit weird. But anyway, Cucurella.
Cucurella, the first half I didn't really like his performance. He did create a chance. I forgot who it was for. That missed it. Was it for Jackson?
Palmer, not Palmer, Jackson with a fucking
Yeah.
post, isn't it? 2
Yeah,
yards out.
he created that chance, with a little cross from 10, 15 yards. So that was good. But my thing with Cucurella is he doesn't do enough offensively, and it shows for the left winger. Our productivity on that left wing is low because there's no support really from the left
He's
back.
not good enough. He's not good enough overall
yeah.
for me.
If we want to go to that next step, we need somebody a little bit more fluid. But are we giving him ratings or not?
Yeah, you can do. Yeah, give him a rating if you want.
I give him like a 6.
Yeah,
I think 6.5 because in the second half he had a big impact. I'll give him a 6.5.
Ben Badiashile I spoke about already earlier in the show, and I thought he had his best game this season by a mile. I thought he was very good. But it goes to beg the question again. It's next to Thiago Silva, and a lot of last seasons was again next to Thiago Silva. So look, I don't get how you can play like he did yesterday. Good tackles, good reading the game, using his body well to get in front of Watkins to stop him running through. His passing range out the back was immense. Like the way he was pinning in the balls and it was accurate. Like he looked better. Yeah. This is the Badiashile where I'm like, okay, is this the Badiashile we're talking about now? Like this is the one that I want to see. Then yeah, let's go. Like, but it's the inconsistency that we get with this guy. And I know he's been injured and stuff, but he's had too many chances in the team to have played to that level still, and he hasn't. And he's been bozo. And that's the issue in it all. So, I mean, if we're talking about yesterday, strong, 7.58, easily. Yeah. He was good. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to knock him for a performance like yesterday. His stats were good. It's just, can he be consistent with it, AJ?
Yeah, I mean, we talk in the chat every day, and we have Badiashile is one of those polarizing guys that, a lot of the chat like him, a lot of the chat don't like him. But there's a reason why we liked him, and it's because of what we saw last year. We're like, this guy, he's imposing, he's good on the ball, he's a good tackler, and he's young. It's like, this is something that we could work with, but then obviously he got injured. Then you come, when you come back from injury, you need 1-2 months to get back to that form, but since his injury, he's kind of been suspect, and it was to the point where we started questioning, at least me, because I'm a big fan of him. I gave him the bad boy Badiashile. That's from me. I started that, on this channel last year. Yeah. This guy, I started to like kind of lose faith. I'm like, damn, what happened to Badiashile? It's like, is the injury affecting him that much? But then you look at the team, we're giving up goals already. So it's really just, we got to give him a little bit more time. But yesterday, he had a dominant performance. This is what we want from Badiashile. And he needs to continue this moving forward.
Yeah, I agree. We need to see more from Badiashile with this performance. I think what I want to see from now to the end of the season is good performance. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see him be consistent. Thiago Silva looks like he could be out because he's got a bit of a groin injury again as well, which is a bit of a miss for us, which means we could have the Chuckle brothers together for the next couple games.
You should try him next to Chalobah.
Yeah, maybe. Chalobah, I think, is more. I don't know, to be quite honest, yeah. I don't know why we're getting rid of Chalobah, I'll be honest. I think he's so, like, we're going to get to him in a minute, but Silva again, calm, collective, not rushing out the passes. Some good passes into the midfield yesterday from him as well, like quick in as well. Defensively, nearly got caught by Watkins once, I think, where he knocked the ball around him and sprinted, but I think Badiashile done well to, and that's what I like, because even when Thiago Silva commits, and this goes to chemistry again and understanding each other. Even when Thiago Silva gets caught in them rare moments where he gets out pace and Watkins gets behind, Badiashile just covers him with his young, youthful pace and strength. Do you know what I mean? Like, he knows I've got to cover Silva. I've got to cover him because he's not quick anymore. I need to be in that position to pick it up just in case he gets caught. And you saw it a number of times yesterday where Silva's pressing a little bit higher to try and win balls, gets caught once or twice on the rare, and Badiashile's just getting across quickly, like, don't worry, I've got you. Like, I've got you. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've got you, sort of thing. And it worked. They both they read each other quite well, and I like that. It was very good, And if you watch the way Silva and Badiashile played well yesterday, is that Badiashile actually was the one that was pressing Watkins. So every time Watkins went whatever side, Badiashile followed him. So they would switch. They would switch because what Watkins wanted to do was pin himself against Silva more because he was getting more joy out of it. But the cleverness between the two, Silva went, look, deal with him. Like everywhere he moved, Badiashile, you've got him. You're matching him here with strength, with speed, and it's all about the chemistry, isn't it? We keep saying about the defense having some chemistry and understanding. If we see that, it works better. Yes, we can see 2 goals yesterday, but I don't really blame them too much, to be quite honest with you, for it. I just think structurally again from the midfield, and I don't know if you saw my midfield breakdown of the goals. I said they were just everywhere, and people forget, people don't want to look at it and go, well, Gallagher, and we're going to talk about Caicedo and Gallagher is the best pivot, but they forget. Structurally, it doesn't work for any of them. It's shit. So I mean, Thiago Silva for you, I think he was a strong 7.5. He got him.
I agree. He is up there. He's definitely set between 7 and 8. And he's kind of back to what Thiago Silva was before, maybe December. This guy. He's been our best defender basically since he's come in. The leadership, the experience. The moments, the goal line saves, the big tackles. So, what I really think happened to him is we just overplayed him. This guy is almost 40 years old, and it got to a point where he re-signed for this season, and you're like, oh, nah, this guy, he's probably going to play like once every month or so. This guy started playing every single game more. He was playing more than before. So he needed that break, but in terms of the game yesterday, again, his experience is just, unmatched. You can't really put a price on it. He helps the defenders around him. And, you say that Thiago, he needs somebody to recover for him in case he gets beat. And that's why we never like Disasi and Thiago Silva next to each other, because Disasi can't recover for Thiago.
Yeah, it's true.
So that's the problem.
I don't think Badiashile's quick, though. I don't think he's that quick. He's not like speedy.
He's quicker than Disasi, though.
He's quicker than Disasi. You can see it. Yeah, you can see it. His legs. Yeah.
But he's not that quick either. He's really not. So
I agree.
But yeah, Thiago, I give him an 8 just because he's a leader. And we really need that.
Gallagher will get better. Club which organised summer. Okay, let's go. Yeah, I agree. Let's go on to Trevor Chalobah because he played right back yesterday. This is what we should have done with him against Arsenal, personally. I think it's just better balanced.
Yeah.
I get why. Look, I wanted him to play with Thiago Silva in the centre because I think that chemistry was there between the two of them, right?
It was.
But in not having a right back and playing Alfie, I was still a little bit against it. And I thought, well, if we had to sacrifice anyone, it would be Chalobah in the right, and then you throw in Badiashile with Silva, which I think we would have been better structurally in that game. We wouldn't have conceded shit goals like we did against Havertz, where we just stood off them and let them just shoot, stuff like that. I don't think we would have been defensively bad, even though the midfield was shocking again. Trevor Chalobah, for me, was a solid 6-7 again. Like, he just done his job again, covered well, understands it. You can see he understands the role better because he's played out there. And this is what I'm saying.
Yep.
A player like Chalobah, for me...
Why it take so long?
This is my point, Charlie. A player like Trevor Chalobah, for me, shouldn't be getting sold, in my opinion. If you're going to have these type of injuries going into next season, and you've got someone that can play in that right back position, i.e. Gusto James is injured again, keep him. Like, why would you get rid of Trevor Chalobah? He's played well centrally. He's played well on the right. Like, FFP. Get rid of the ones we bought then. I don't give a fuck. Sell Disasi back to someone.
But it comes as pure profit.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
And there must be other ways around it. Like, I just don't think we should be getting rid of this guy, personally, in my opinion. But I've always been quite a strong protector of Chalobah.
But
I agree with you. I agree with you fully.
The problem is, it's like, I don't expect 2 of our right backs to be injured. That is the biggest problem, man.
True.
You have
forget that
James and Gusto injured.
Fire, right?
Right. What about the centre backs then? Because we know the centre backs can't keep
and
themselves
then you
fit.
have Levi Colwell. He injured his big toe and is out for how long now? This is retarded. Like, I feel like regardless, we're gonna have to fix the injury room, like, because this can't run next season because we're we're gonna be halted again. Like, you know what I mean?
Real shit. Real. I agree. You know that medical room needs to be addressed. You know, because it's too common. But Chalobah, like you said, Jim, this guy always just. You know what to expect from Chalobah, and it's not just now. It's since Tuchel came in. You know, this guy, any type of gap that you need or anything that you need for 2 games, 3 games a month, you know,
He's good.
throw in Chalobah. He's gonna hold it down, and he'll score. He'll score as well. You know, he'll create a chance as well. You know, so it's not you're getting so much value out of Chalobah. So I get why people will say why we selling him, but when we're in a financial position like this, we might have to sell him, bro.
Yeah, it just sucks.
Yo,
That's all.
the thing
shouldn't
about
do it.
Chalobah, one more thing. It's crazy because in Man City, I thought he's actually our best defender along with Silva. But like when people used to say, yo, why we brought Disasi when we have Chalobah, I used to be like, yo, Chalobah's ass. Because like, sometimes he used to make dumb mistakes that used to get me pissed off. But
but he did.
when I think,
He did.
hold on. When I think about it now, it actually makes sense because I've seen enough of a profile from Disasi to be like, yo, that was such a waste of a buy to me. To be honest, like, yeah, like he brings the passion, the energy, but there's so much things missing in his game that Chalobah does have, and like now I agree with the people where they're saying that, you know what I mean? Like I actually agree with them. I actually agree that if we were gonna get a defender, it had to be better than Chalobah or Disasi.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, we still need a leader.
It wasn't worth it. That's what it was.
No, and I think we still need to find that who's going to lead, and when Silva leaves, like who's the main man in the centre back team that we can say
That's
right.
a big problem, Jam.
We haven't got that, and that worries me. Really worries me.
Jam,
because now
that's a big problem.
Yeah, of course it is, because we can't just have one and then try and fit another one with him where we find the right chemistry. It's like we change 2 and then we change another 2, then we go into someone else's 2, and then we go. We're never going to get any chemistry when we just keep changing it until
the reason why I say 2 is a big problem because I think the best center back pairings are always with an alpha and someone who is a good center back and that could clean it. Like look at Rafael Varane and like a Sergio Ramos, where you got Sergio Ramos is like the leader, commander type, and then you are like Van Dijk and Konate. You feel me? Like where someone is directing you and leading you and keeps it together, and then you have the other center back who just complements, like a Terry and Vidic is both leader in itself. Like Terry and Carvalho. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like real shit.
Like pairs like that. Like even the commentator said that it always works best with an alpha CB and like another CB.
Yeah.
Like, if you have 2 alphas, even better.
Yeah, he said leader and follower.
I actually think the best centre back pairing off the top of my head could be in the future if we had them all fit, Fofana and maybe Colwill, personally, or Fofana and maybe. If Badiashile plays like he is, a Badiashile. I don't think Disasi, I mean, I don't know with Disasi, still just up in the air with him. But Fofana, the problem with Fofana is if you can't keep him fit, we just got to cut our ties with him. You can't have a player that's only played, he's only played quarter of 2 seasons.
James had another setback, you know that, right?
It's crazy.
Yeah. It's
Fofana had another setback, you said?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, bro.
This is what I'm saying. I'm sorry. Him, like even in Nkunku, I love Nkunku. I actually think if we, what really annoys me, if we just had a fit fucking squad where James Nkunku,
really good,
Lavia, and fucking Fofana are available, I actually think we'd probably be winning a lot of that games.
But the thing is,
top 5, easy.
Yeah. The thing is with me is like, it would give Poch like an excuse, like even though those guys will save him a couple games, like Palmer has saved this whole season, it will give him that excuse. You know what I mean? I think I hate it because we need Europe, but it just shows that this manager without like certain players doesn't have a system or nothing like that. But yeah, like I agree with your point. If we had Nkunku, even if we had Nkunku, Lavia, or just James, or any one of them, where Jem gone?
Jem, his internet is messed up, so he must be
Wi-Fi. But yeah, while he gets back, even just give me Nkunku and James, bro. All right, even if you had 2 of them, even if you had 2 footballers like that, bro, we
Yeah.
would have saved a couple points. You know what I mean?
Oh, facts.
I agree.
Facts. All right, let's go on to the pivot, shall we? Let's start with Caicedo. And I'll let you guys go because I've done a lot of talking on Caicedo yesterday. I thought his performance was good. I know AJ, he's a bit like me. We watch, and Gavi, we watch the midfield heavily in terms of how they're playing it. So, like, how do you feel about the Caicedo performance? Because everyone's saying that it was probably one of his best performances this season.
It seems like they say that a lot now, right? It seems like every other game they say that shit.
You know what's funny? Yesterday watching the game, like I'm hearing everybody say, "Oh, it was Caicedo's best game" or whatever. Like, I didn't really notice him in the game yesterday, but I think that's because he was having such a good game. You understand? Like, sometimes when you don't even notice a player, you know, he's not making any mistakes. Really, he did actually make an early mistake, I believe, because he's been having a mistake in him like every game. But he yesterday he had a complete performance, you know, and this is the type of shit that we need from Caicedo because his role in the team is extremely important. And everybody's like, oh, Gallagher next to him. But like you said, Jem, if we had a better defensive player next to Caicedo, then our midfield would be extremely strong because Caicedo brings these intangibles of hunting the ball, winning the ball back, moving the ball. He's actually good on the ball, but he does leave gaps. And that's the problem.
We played a 3-5-2 yesterday in the second half, and it was a lot more effective in the way that we were, able to win the ball, but also be aggressive. Why Caicedo and Gallagher were better in the second half is because they're both better actually pressing further up the pitch, so that when we lose the ball, we run it back quicker. But the reason we did that was so that Cucurella filled that gap for a second, so that when we did lose the ball, and it went out past him, then we could win it back quicker. And Badiashile sort of just covered around. You know what I mean? And it complemented them. It worked, but why did it take him so long to fucking work this shit out? This goes back to the tactical deploy, the naivety, the shitness of this manager.
Because I feel like his job was on the line. Like it seems like he only makes the these high decisions or these urgent decisions when he's at threat of his job or some shit. Like I know. Like, you know what I mean? Because it would have got bad if we lost.
It would have been bad. I was thinking he's getting sacked today. Like, I'm like, he's finally getting sacked because we down 2-0. You know, we should not be losing this game 2-0 at halftime.
The patterns were played there. The attacking style was there. The high pressing that he likes to play, you know, which is he rides and dies with and has since Tottenham, you know, of winning the ball high and having lots of energy was there again. The Villa couldn't get out. They couldn't even get out. They had one or two little moments, but they struggled. They were like, shit, like we can't get out here. Like, you know, we're under trouble. And that's where the siege came. And ultimately, that's where the first goal came because they got caught out of position by Gallagher, Palmer, who, by the way, Palmer's a good presser as well. Don't think he can't play a 10 and not press because he can. He can, you know, they win the ball and they get it into Madueke. It was a good finish into the bottom corner, you know, and like maybe he needs to look at himself now. And this is what annoys me with him. He'll do something like this, Next game he'll play 4-1-2 fucking whatever. Do you know what I mean? Or 4-1-4-1 or something stupid. Do you know what I mean? Or like it just doesn't make sense, is what I'm saying with this guy. Like he just doesn't. Learn. He doesn't learn. That's what it is. He just doesn't learn, and he just keeps making the same shit. And then we sit here and we go, Caicedo shit, or we let rivals say Caicedo shit, Enzo shit, this is shit, that is shit. And
then our fans join into that and say, "Oh Enzo's shit." Like sheep.
Told you it was Enzo's fault. Why we're not playing well? Gallagher and Caicedo. Whee!
Yeah, bro, it's ridiculous.
You know, it's a naive agenda. That's what that is.
Yep, it's lazy.
Go on, Gallagher. Talk to me. I mean, I showed you what he was in the first half. I actually thought there was numerous of times where he was the deeper of the two, and defensively he was shit, and it was a big part. And I wouldn't say the goals were his fault, but the positionings, where to be, again, game plan, which is obviously coming from Poch. The midfield was just everywhere again, and Caicedo had so much to do on his own in the midfield. It was just relentless. But Gallagher's performance in the second half was better. And again, Gallagher's best when he's pressing high and he can win the balls effectively quickly and then just pass it. You know, his goal that he scored yesterday was a very good finish. I got to give it to him. You know, I can't knock him for that finish. But he's just very limited. I feel he's just very limited still.
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
what
that
he's
is
trying to do.
Jam, this is why I like love the stream, because it's like people don't get gassed off of like, yeah, he scored a banger, great goal, and we appreciate that. Like, but in the first half, because a lot of the
Oh,
times I even keep my mouth shut. Like he's
yeah,
trying to do a turn in the midfield. Like you seen that dummy and shimmy, but
yeah,
he has no positional awareness of what's around him. He loses
mm,
the ball a lot, and so like with him, you get, especially when you're playing deeper like that, you can't lose that because they transition straight at our back line and it becomes exposed. And
yeah,
there's also like when he's on the ball, sometimes I feel like sometimes he takes too long or he doesn't see the pass earlier. And so by the
mm,
time he takes that second touch, the play is dead where we have
mm,
like momentum. I don't know if they were ignoring Mudryk or something down the left because he was awful. But there's times where he could just release a Mudryk or release a Nani way earlier. But he's like running into Nani like with the ball, like almost wanted to carry the ball with his feet instead of just passing it. But he did improve in the second half, and it was a great goal to him. You could be fair. Like he did improve
yeah,
in a good press and high up the pitch. But like going forward, if we want to reach, I know our standards have dropped significantly with a lot of players around us. Going forward, we just like need to improve upon it, bro. It's just fair. Like we
yeah,
could do so much better.
yeah,
I agree. I think that you could list Conor Gallagher's best strengths: running, pressing, and normally like a late man finish in the box. But he does have that shooting quality compared to the other players on the team. He has scored bangers for us before. So this is not something new. The only thing is getting into those positions to do that. I don't think he has the best skill set to do that. So he's gonna bang some goals, but like the overall play is not really gonna be what we need in those areas. So it's hard. It's always hard. I'll always give him his credit. Like, oh yeah, Conor Gallagher played well. He did his job, this, that, and third. But that's all I could give him. I can never be like, yo, this guy dominated the game. He created so many chances. It's never that, and that's what I need from my 10. It got to be somebody
yeah,
who's sticking out. So
yeah. So Football have come out of a comment 1 minute ago saying that Pochettino is ready to open talks over which players should remain at the club next season. A decision will be made on Pochettino himself, with his position far from certain. That makes no sense.
So,
It just
so why
we
the
don't
contradicts.
want
fuck would
to
he talk
decide.
about players that he needs next season if his
He's not going to be here. It's just
position is
contradicting.
what the fuck is that, man?
Yeah, it's just waffle, mate. Sorry, guys, but I know he's from the Times and the Times is solid or whatever, but is it Telegraph? Football is it's just that's just a pathetic comment. I'm sorry, absolute pathetic comment. And then there's this one as well from Fabrizio Romano, which goes on to say, "I've always mentioned one club, especially Chelsea. Chelsea are keen and have Sesko's name on their list, and they have been tracking him for 2 years. They're deciding how much they want to spend on the striker." Fabrizio Romano. That don't make no
How old
sense
is
to
that
me.
striker? How old is that striker, Sesko?
He's young. He's a baby.
Another
I'll tell you
young
now.
G, man.
We don't need
He
another
don't.
young striker.
Yeah, this is the
We have
problem, mate. And
27
again,
young strikers that we don't use. Wasn't there 2 young strikers on the bench that we didn't even bring on yesterday?
I spoke about Sesko at the beginning of this show. If you
Ridiculous,
get a
bro.
chance, go back and listen to me talking about Sesko, because I don't want to go into it now, but it makes no sense. If you're looking for a killer and someone that's clinical, someone that's going to up our game, why are you going to bring in a young player who's only scored 11
Seriously.
goals and 2 assists in the Bundesliga? Yeah, who's still learning the game. And I watched in the Champions League against the bigger teams and just fizzed out at games, and he's just not ready.
Exactly.
He's still developing it himself. Like, it makes no fucking sense. Like, honestly, this club.
Maybe that's from our previous under 25 rule. Now it's scrapped. We're not doing the under 25 anymore. So maybe that's just old news. Hopefully.
Who wants to cook him? Because I'm getting fed up of watching him, to be honest with you, at the moment. It's just
Oh
fucking
no.
annoying.
Fabrizio tweeted it, so it
Oh
must be
no.
recent.
I mean,
Oh,
he doesn't help himself. Like, don't get me wrong. I think we do attack more down the right, and he doesn't see enough of the ball. I get that. And he then ultimately sort of falls into the middle a bit more because he wants the ball more, and he tries to pick up them 10 roles that Palmer's meant to be in. And I'm just like, no, stay out in the wing. But then if you look at the second half, there was a clear instruction because he was told to hold the wing. He was the furthest on the left. He was giving us width, and there were moments where he did get the ball and try to run at players, but effectively just wasteful. He's not like he's very up and down. He just never has that sort of. And again, it's our fault because bought raw talent for 80 million, thinking he's fucking developed and ready, and he's nowhere near it. He just isn't it. Should have accepted the loan that Bayern.
This is why the Sesko shit make no sense.
That's what I'm saying. But like when Bayern offered us the loan for Mudryk, we should have took it. I'm not even joking. Like he needs to go on loan for me.
He does. First of all, before the loan, this summer he needs a dedicated trainer to coach him every single day of the summer. He hasn't mastered the football. He can't control the ball. His touch is off, and when he's going at pace, he has no weight of pass, no shot. His gauge on the shot is off. Like, bro, go back to the basics and go learn how to master the football. That's the first. Then the next thing is go on a season-long loan to he needs a loan. I don't even know where would you send this guy?
Go to Dortmund, mate. Go to Dortmund.
Yo, Bayern would have been perfect, but is he even Bayern level? But anyway,
he's not Bayern level. If I'm Bayern, I'm not taking.
Yeah, go to Dortmund or something.
Go somewhere where you could play, Europa League football or something he just needs to play every literally every game.
Yeah, until he develops quick enough to actually be more
the problem for me is even if you do one-on-one training, it won't help because to me, one is his first touch is horrible, and I don't know by this age you can teach a first touch, but sometimes it's good, other times it just bounces off of him. But the thing is about it, he needs to learn to function within a game, slow his speeds down. You read that piece, I know, whatever you may think about Arteta, about Sane when he came, even though Sane is a way better player, how he just used to want to run at top speed all the time. But if you go at a defender, slow him down and accelerate, switch his speeds up. He always wants to play at 100 miles per hour. And
pace,
you know what I mean? He needs to. And Mudryk needs away from the spotlight, away from the pressure of a big club. It's our fault, as Jim said. We spend money on this guy thinking he was going to be the next big thing off of YouTube videos.
Yeah.
He needs that loan away where he has a coach that is paying specific attention to him and working with him and just that consistent run of game time. Because we can't aim to be where we want to be as Chelsea and focus on him at the same time. We got too many young kids to be doing that. Too many young kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm done.
It's I don't know what to say anymore.
My thing is we complain, we don't attack down the left. So, maybe that's why. But the type of player that Mudryk is right now, he doesn't need that much of the ball to his feet. He needs to be that complementary player that comes into the space in an attack for a one-time finish or for a little link-up play. We don't need you having the ball dribbling and creating because you don't got that. That's not you right now, Let somebody else do it. You be the complementary player on the other side until you get to that level.
After AJ goes, I got one more thing. I just thought about, even if you think about a guy like Timo Werner, right, who I thought was not very good, at least when he's running with his pace, defenders are scared of it, and he's dragging a defender out of position. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least if you're not receiving the ball or you're not in the game with your touches, make yourself useful. Make runs, because when you make runs in behind, the defender has to make a choice.
Yep.
He has to make a choice. Is he going to follow you or is he going to let you go? And then sometimes when you're free and you see that and not follow you, you're going to give it to him over the top. You could do that one in you know what I mean? Or sometimes you drag someone out of space so Jackson could run in that space that the defender is leaving. There's a lot of things just like that he can do where I feel man. Actually, he was our worst player in the picture.
Definitely our worst player.
Out of the two, we're going to go to Madueke now, but out of the two, I see more in Matt. I think with Madueke, it's more of a. Yeah, I just think, he's just. Where is he?
Right there. You just passed him. He's 3 under Caicedo or whoever that is right now.
Caicedo?
Under, lower.
There he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought his second half performance was decent. I'm not going to lie. I thought he took the game by his hand. He tried to, and again, I think we do attack more down the right, so he sees more of the ball, which means he can be more effective. But he drived well. He cut in. He linked up well. He made that mistake that I showed earlier where he was through and he used his left foot to pass it rather than his right when he should have just passed it into Palmer, which was weird. And he still has areas where his shooting's still a bit shit. He gets into good position, shoots, and it's shocking. And I'm like, come on, you're better than this. But he scored the goal, which was a very good goal. Finish, pass, placed at the bottom corner. And I thought he kind of led it well. And I think with Madueke, the big thing for me is just his attitude. If he could just shake that shitty, I think I'm this king attitude thing and just play like he did in the second half and be effective and show that he wants to be counted for. I'm the man. Let me show it on the pitch. Give me the ball. I'm going to fucking make things happen for us. Rather than just, I'm too good,
I disagree with that.
That's what I feel when I watch him sometimes.
I feel like people read into that so much. I just feel like that's who he is as a personality. And sometimes as wingers, yes, all right, he's young and he needs to make better decisions, off the field. Thiago Silva's crying on the FA Cup semifinals. Don't be fucking laughing, bro. But that's subjective. But to me, the reason why I have a time for Madueke, even though let's get this clear, this is not Chelsea. What the Chelsea used to be and what we all know, nowhere. He's not good enough yet. There should be an experienced winger that he's learning off of, and he comes into games and impact games. But he does not, because people like to talk. Sterling has been shit this season, to me. In my opinion. Yeah, he started off the season well, but the stuff he does in the game, you don't think he's an experienced winger. But that's another point. To me, Nani could actually, he does 1-2s. He plays in game. He can link up with teammates. His first touch is good. He pinned Digne back. Where Digne, Digne, his defense is not the greatest. What he's good at is the attacking phase of the game. And he had Digne on his back foot most of the game. The problem is
the first goal, though, in my opinion.
I was getting frustrated with our wingers because they were not doing our defenders any justice. Your defender can only do so much, especially if you leave someone 2v1 with somebody, they're gonna have to make a choice to engage our press, and that you're leaving them on an island. But this is I'm not he needs to be. This is where coaching comes in. You need to take. You need to take him and say that shit is not acceptable. There's not negotiable for me. You need to fucking track back. I don't know if Poch is doing that. Maybe the second half and he came out better. Maybe he did that. But this is where the coaching comes back. It's yo, get your fucking head in the game. Yeah, help your fucking right back. This is the problem. You have too much kids. Silva cannot yell at everybody at once. You have too much kids on the pitch. So yeah, he does those mistakes, but then he beats his men a lot. And he gets in good positions. His decision making needs to be what Jem said. Why? I got frustrated too. Why is he poking that shit? Get it on your right foot, hit it low across the goal, or get better contact on it. You know what I mean? But stuff with that, I can have patience for, because I could see maybe with a run of games and stuff like that, he'll get better as time goes on. And he has been showing moments here. It's just, this is what you expect from a young G, not the shit that other people are doing. This is what you expect from a young kid. And Palmer's over exceeding what I'm expecting, and Gusto's over exceeding what I'm expecting. But this is the shit I expect, those lapses of concentration. But it's just, we're Chelsea, bro. So these stuff affect us massively, which you can't afford to be doing. But yeah, I think he was our third best player, or second after Badiashile and Caicedo.
Yeah, I hear you. AJ, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree with everything Chavi said. I got a lot of time for Noni, because even with all the inconsistencies, the mistakes, the attitude, I don't really believe in the attitude shit, because if you balling on the field, it don't really matter, to be honest.
Yeah, I get that.
It doesn't matter, but
it's when you're not balling on the field and you got the attitude.
Exactly,
that's the problem.
It makes you an easy target. That's the thing. That's the thing. So, I'm gonna say it. There's the race thing goes into it too. I'm not gonna go too much into it, but that goes into it. So my thing with Noni, though, is I got a lot of time for him, because at the end of the day, his approach within the game is he wants to make something happen. And I like that, especially from my winger. I need my winger to, when he gets the ball, he's fully confident. He doesn't care about who's in front of him. He's gonna beat that player, or he's gonna go at that player. Even if he doesn't beat him this time, the next time he gets the ball, he's gonna try it again. And I like that. So
I agree.
on top of that, that finish yesterday, that's a great finish. That's a great finish. You know who needs that finish? Jackson needs to learn that finish. Lower into the fucking corner. That's it. That's what we're looking for, So I like it. I got time for Noni, and I think Poch is liking him more and more.
Yeah. And I know we got to move on fast. One last thing. You know what makes him dangerous as a winger? The fact that maybe his right foot is not as effective, but he could go both sides. So me as a defender,
he should have used his right foot yesterday. He should have used it, in my opinion, in that chance.
We've seen he used it before, you know what I mean? So
this is what I don't get it. Why is he not? He's not like the most one-footed. Like, he is one-footed, but it's not that he doesn't have a right, because he scored a goal against Luton with his right. A fucking good finish as well. Like, he has got a right. Use it.
But but what I'm saying though, like, if I'm coming up on a winger and he can take me on to both sides, and now I'm playing the guessing game, and I have to stay on my P's and Q's, because it's like, how one-footed wingers, you can show him onto his weaker foot.
Yeah. So, Cole Palmer, I'll be honest with you, I don't think he had the greatest of games yesterday. I don't know whether he just wasn't 100% fit, but he still in the second half was better, impressive. First half, I thought he was a bit wasteful with the ball and stuff. Wasn't picking up the positions well. He did, he's still quality. When he gets the ball, he makes the right passes and things like that. But I just expect more from him now. Where he's put himself on such a high pedestal at the moment, I always watch him intricately, and I'm like, come on, let's go. When we're playing, you need to be the man leading it. And he had that big chance, and I still think 8 times out of 10 in that position, I think he scores that. I'll be honest with you. But that 2%, which we saw yesterday, is still there. And I do think he picked the wrong side of the goal. I think he should have gone the other side. The goal is not getting down quick enough, and he had it open. That was a big chance for me, where he could have won us the game before even the Badiashile situation happened. They're the moments where I need you to step up. I need you to pull it away. And there's been moments with Palmer this season where he's been amazing for 90% of it, but there's been that 10% in games where we've relied on him and he's had the best chances, and it's not happened. And maybe it's just because, again, he's not clinical like in that instance. But the stats would say otherwise. He has scored a lot, or maybe we're just heavily reliant. But when you're going to find yourself in them positions more than anything, you need to be putting them in the back of the net more. And I think yesterday he should have. And I don't think he was great yesterday, but I don't think he was bad. I think he was just okay. So, for me, it was like a 6-6 for me, probably. I'm going to be honest with you.
The funny thing is, and before I say this, Cole Palmer is definitely player of the year for us. He's definitely, maybe young player of the year for the season in terms of the league.
I don't hate
but
Palmer.
This guy, he's so good that when, like you said, Jem, when he has those lapses of concentration or he doesn't execute, we're gonna get on him, because at this point we're holding him to that standard, And yesterday's performance, I know he's in there for Golden Boot and all that, but yesterday's performance was a pretty not typical Cole Palmer performance, but it's close to a Cole Palmer performance. Like, for the majority, he'll just bag goal and assist, and it'll kind of cover up what he's been doing. But I've been saying that this guy, if he gets a little bit more consistent, and he's young, he's 21 years old, he'll still be in college if he was in America. If he gets a little bit more consistent, a little bit more stronger, and just a little less casual, because he gets into these moments and he's so good that he's chilling, if he just adds some force to that shit, this guy's
serious.
He's unstoppable. So, because even that chance that he got at the end of the game, he had to work for that chance, because
he beat 2 of them. He skipped past 2 players.
So it's like, you're not even getting that chance really unless you're that good. So,
and he's creating that.
I gave him a 7 just because he still creates for us. But we can't ask him to do everything. That's the fucking problem.
And shit, my bad, fellas. And side note, this is why AJ had to prefix he's been our player of the year, because he had to explain that for guys in the chat when we try to criticize him.
Facts.
I don't know if you could hear the crying.
Facts.
Sorry.
That's a fact.
To me, it's like we've just relied on him so much. I can move back. My son's fine.
That's all right. You good?
Yeah, he said he got to deal with his son.
Yeah, my
So
son is in the background crying,
Yeah.
so I don't want to disrupt the stream.
It's all right. We've only got one more left, and we're going to dip because the game's starting between Arsenal and Tottenham in 10 minutes as well. So we're going to watch that. Right. So let's talk about Mr. I can't finish. Same type of game that he's had pretty much most of the season for us. Like he plays very well off the ball. He does everything so good with his game. Like drops deep, wins
like
the
he's
ball.
scared to hit the ball. Like he's scared. Like he puts his hands up.
I don't know, man. Like I don't get how you miss a 3-yard header like that when the goalie is nowhere near that corner as well. He's
I think he came with the shoulders down.
Everything other than that, dropping deep, winning the ball, carrying it, linking play, he's a nightmare. Like he's very good. Like defenders come to go with him and they 9 times out of 10 lose that battle because he gets around them easily and then it deploys us on the attack more. I like all that about Jackson, and I think getting the right striker next season with him playing in them deeper roles is going to be very effective for us when we go to Finland. It's just that once we get to that end bit and we create and it hits the box, you need that guy in the box, that's like bang, goal. And that's the only difference. It's like he might score a couple from it still because he can arrive in different positions deeper, but he won't be relied on to be like the only guy in the box, our main striker. And he, again, yesterday had some good chances, didn't take them. And it's weird because if he just could score, I know he scored 14, 15 goals still and he's done well, okay, this season, but he could have had 25. 30 this season. I'm not even joking.
Easily.
Like he really could have. The amount of chances he's missed for us, like it's crazy. It's crazy.
No, I agree with you, Jum. I the whole season I'm saying, and I'll still say it now. I have time for Jackson because he does. Like if you watch, first of all, remember this: we let go of Broha in January. Jackson has been our only striker for the last 4 months. He's played every single game, 90 minutes. He doesn't come off the field. And every game, he's still dragging us forward. Every game, he drags us 30, 40 yards forward. Every single game, multiple times per game. So this guy, I'm thinking we need to push this guy to the left wing instead of Mudryk, but we don't have a striker. Because if we had Jackson on the left wing and we had somebody to play striker and then everybody else was in their normal position, I believe we get more out of this guy. He'll have more assists. We'll have a striker who will probably get easier chances. So this guy, like I said, Mudryk needs dribbling and controlling of the ball training. Jackson got to do some shooting drills and finishing drills all summer. That's the only thing that he needs to do. Work on your box presence, movement in the box, heading the ball, putting the ball in the corners of the goal. Striking the ball with power, because every shot you take is like you hitting it with your fucking purse or some shit. Like, stop hitting the ball soft. So these guys need some individual training, man, in terms of like specific aspects of the game. And I hope that they take that serious. I hope Chelsea set them up and do it,
Yeah, for real.
Bobby says this, and like we're doing this too much where we have, like, you notice how we go through Mudryk, Nani, Jackson, where we're like, these guys are developing. Even if you count a young Badiashile, even Caicedo's young in himself, but he's Gusto's young, Palmer's young. Like this is more of like, I look at the board now, like as much as I crash Poch, they have to hold some blame too. You can't assemble a squad like this and the conditions that this, like, even, don't get me wrong, you know how I feel about Poch. The conditions, like, come on, like they're kind of like crazy to work in, where you have to develop so much and you're expecting these guys to be developed. That's why this Sesko thing pisses me off, because you're not learning from your fucking mistakes.
Exactly.
Are they really scrapping the U25? Like, I get it, he could be a good potential buy, he could be good, but we just need to fix the issue that we have. It has to be experienced now. It has to be. Are we going to find ourselves in the same position as last year? Like, the one thing that Poch can do for me before he goes, call out the directors.
Could be a good left winger, you know. That's another option for us moving forward. But then it goes back to like if Nkunku gets back and he does stay fit next season and he's available, like, you know, we have options. And when you look at it, Jackson could play left, and Nkunku could play 10, Cole Palmer could play right, for example. And then you have your striker, or you could have Nkunku on the left, Jackson as the 10, and fucking Palmer on the right, or Jackson as the Palmer as the 10, and then Nkunku on the left, and then it's
we got options, man. We got a lot of options.
Like, you can really play around with it. There's versatility there once we get a striker, but we'll have to see what happens. Guys, I'm going to be going away on Tuesday. I'm going away for 10 days on holiday. The only two games that I'll be missing is the big games, Spurs on Thursday and West Ham. So what's going to happen in between that time is the shows are still going to be running. Don's going to do the shows. I'm going to set them up. You guys can still do the match reactions for the games. I just won't be here for big up Xavi. I just won't be here for the overall reactions for the two games. But then I'm back for the 11th. So for the Forest game, the Brighton game, and the Bournemouth game, the 3 games at the end of the season, back for us to do that as well. But yeah, I'll make sure that they're all set up. We will still be doing the shows. We want to stay consistent. So relevant if I'm here or not, we're still going to try and get them pinged out and get it done. So like whether we do a match preview, I'll talk to the boys in the panel about that, because obviously they're midweek, some of them. But if not, you will definitely get a match reaction at the end of each one, which will be fixed for you guys. So you'll still have that consistency for us to share.
Where you headed, bro?
Morocco.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
you living it up.
I need some sun, AJ, man. I've not been on holiday for a while, man. I need to get that brown skin in and have a bit of a break, you know? That's what I'm feeling. Listen, guys, it's been a very, very, very good show as well. AJ, thank you, bro. I appreciate you coming on as well.
Appreciate you, bro.
Always. And guys, we'll see you on, Thursday's the game. So Friday at 1 o'clock, or maybe even a match preview on Wednesday if the guys are up for it. So we'll let you know and we'll go from there, guys. All right. Big love, guys. Take care of yourself. And let's hope Arsenal. What are we hoping here? Arsenal to lose or draw or what? Because
just drop points. I don't care, bro. Lose or tie. Just drop it.
Drop points. There we go. We're out, guys. Peace.
Later.